Hey guys, it's Miki ASMR here, and today I'm going to be reading a Kageyama Tobio Exister. This one is titled Hanahaki Blooms, and obviously, you can tell by the title, this is a hanahaki AU. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Kageyama was sitting in class, watching you from the back of it. You were usually focused on studying, but instead of transferring classes, you decided to stay in your regular classes so you could stay with Kageyama, your middle school best friend. You were talking to Kaminato, I think I'm gonna say it like that. The blonde boy kept cracking jokes and overall being a huge flirt, and you seemed to enjoy it, giggling with him. Kageyama felt a clench in his heart. Why were you laughing with the boy that you barely even knew? Kaminato had been friends with you since the two of you had become class reps, but it still hurt Kageyama a lot. Why didn't you look at him like that, with those beautiful eyes sparkling in glee? That giggle. He slammed his fist down on the desk unconsciously, gaining the attention of the entire class. His eyes widened and he glanced away from everyone, going back to his work. The class started whispering, talking about him being jealous of you and Kaminato. Sorry, Kageyama buried himself back into his assignment. Thank God the teacher wasn't there. You stared at Kageyama in surprise for a second, before sharing a worried glance with Kaminato. He gave you an expression that read, "Is he okay?" You shrugged, turning back to your work. You diligently finished the assignment, setting the paper on the teacher's desk and walking over to Kageyama, who had just started coughing up a bit. He glanced up at you, giving you an embarrassed look. What was that about, Kags? You asked, stealing the chair from a nearby desk and pulling it beside his. He sighed, tapping the pencil's eraser on the desk, trying to think of an excuse. It's just Hinata. He's being extra annoying today, and it's really pissing me off, he mumbled, trying to avoid the conversation. You raised an eyebrow at him, not buying the excuse. Bull. Was that because you think your best friend is being stolen? Trust me, I'd never leave you, Kags. You proudly exclaimed, putting your hands on your hips. He rolled his eyes at your response, grabbing his bag and paper, leaving you there confused as to why he had left so suddenly. You gazed at him as he left the classroom, making you sadly watch as he left you. You clutched your heart through your dress shirt. Anger began to fill you up, but you didn't know that it would last so long. But you knew it wouldn't last long. So you grabbed your heavily decorated school bag, not bothering to say goodbye to anyone, as you were far too irritated now. Why wouldn't he be honest with you? You tried so hard to look nice for him, and he wouldn't even be honest that he was jealous. You began running down the hallway at full speed, trying to get out of the school that reminded you of the black-haired setter. When you had gotten to the lockers, you kicked them in frustration, the hot tears running over your face. You grabbed your shoes and changed into them, putting your indoor shoes back into your locker. As soon as you were done, you went to the beach to cool off. Boys are so complicated. Kageyama's point of view. I walked out of the classroom. Why did they have to be so flirty with everyone? They didn't love me. Why would they? I've done nothing but be a hindrance to them. Cough. Great, now I'm sick. Just splendid. What the hell? That's my best fake cough, guys. I know it's bad. I felt something soft and smooth land onto my hand. I lowered my hand in order to see what I just coughed up. Flower? Why are there flower petals in my... Do I have hanahaki? Oh god, I have hanahaki disease. What am I gonna do? Second person point of view. A few weeks later, you were sitting on the rooftop of your house at night, the wind sending shivers down your spine. It was a breath of fresh air that you needed after that day. The stars were visible from where you were, so you stared at the starry night. You heard your phone buzz, and you knew it was because of the specific ringtone you had for that number. It was the cause of the hanahaki you developed, Kageyama Tobio. After he started avoiding you, you felt petals bloom in your lungs. That had started about a week ago, and you hadn't been talking to him for a while. Hinata definitely knew that something was happening to Kageyama. Hell, he saw Kageyama coughing up petals in the first place, but you didn't know that. You grabbed your phone as fast as you could, turning on to see the notification. From Kageyama. Hey, wanna come over to my house really quick? You felt your heart beating at the sensation, a mark on your chest. You immediately replied to his text, your heart yearning for that boy. From YN. Of course I will. I miss you so much. Why have you been avoiding me? Was it because of what happened a few weeks ago? From Kageyama. I'm sorry for that, and I'll explain later, but it's kind of related. It's not your fault. From YN. I'm sorry. I'll see you in a bit. You crawled back into your house, the petals growing in your mouth. You had started coughing them up, but you kept your mouth shut so the blood and petals didn't escape you. You grabbed the tissue, letting the blood and petals from your mouth out. The blue, white, and black petals had mixed with the blood on the tissue, reminding you of your current fate. Your face turned dark, and you discarded the tissue in the trash can. You opened your closet to grab a t-shirt and shorts out of it, putting them on. You grabbed a jacket and a pair of Converse and crawled out of the window again, turning off your lights and closing the window behind you. You made your way to the boy who was the cause of your hanahaki disease, ever so desperate to see his face again. You had missed him, no matter how much of a tsundere he was, no matter how much he avoided you or how many flowers you had released because of that boy. You were just so glad to see him again. You dropped off the rooftop, securing your place with your footing later. Racing down the street, you had felt the excitement and the burning of the hanahaki mark on your chest. Your breathing being clouded by the flowers that you knew would be your end. You saw the light of his room upstairs, racing to the lattice as you found your footing. You climbed up the lattice and saw, I think it's supposed to say ladder, and saw that the window was already opened, so you climbed inside of the hallway. The first thing your senses picked up was a scent of flowers. Gardenias, or specifically gardenias, or gardenias, I don't know how to say it, and blood. Then you saw a trail of blood with eye color and favorite color, and gardenia blossoms in the midst of it. You had heard the sounds of what sounded like intense coughing coming from the bathroom. You recognized that sound. It was the same kind of cough that your hanahaki had extorted from you. Your face fell. This is why he's been avoiding me? I want to help him. He can't die. He has so much to live for. You thought, stealthily making your way into the bathroom. The burning in your mark made your mind race. Crap, this hurts so much. I need to help him. You saw that he was bent over on the toilet, letting out the flowers that had been matched by the ones in the hallway. Tobio, why didn't you? He heard your voice for a brief moment and glanced at the door in alarm, but he ended up coughing harder into the toilet. You ran up to him, feeling your own flowers coming to your throat. The boy kept coughing until he eventually ran out of flowers, the boy wiping the blood from his mouth. The flower were half heads at this point. Not even your hanahaki had gotten this bad. He must have had it longer than you, which means, did he avoid you because he had hanahaki? But why you? He rubbed his back comfortingly, he leaned into your shoulder, tears pricking his eyes. You wrapped your arms around his, leaning your head onto his. Okay, you weren't supposed to see that. He whimpered out, burying his face into your neck. You had brought your hand over your mouth, coughing slightly, feeling the petals coming out of your throat, but you kept your mouth closed tightly. Kageyama looked up at you with a worried expression, eyes widening when you couldn't hold back the flowers anymore, and the blood and flowers came out onto your hand. He saw the blood dripping down your fingers, the blue, white, and black petals mixed in with it. You dumped it into the toilet and flushed it, sighing before looking at Kageyama. I guess we're both hiding the same thing, huh? You laughed lightly, trying to hide the grimace in your stance. He hugged you tightly, dried blood and flower petals still on his hands from earlier. Your hand was still covered in wet blood and torn flowers. You tried to hug him back the best you could, but you didn't want to stain his shirt more than it already was. Kageyama nuzzled his head back into the back of your neck, whispering into your ear. Who is it, first name? He shakily asked. You could hear his voice quivering. He looked at the boy with sad eyes. The silence stayed between the two of you for a few minutes before you replied. Tobio Kageyama, he said, putting your hand on his head, cradling him. What? He questioned. He squeezed the back of his hand, intertwining his messy hair with your fingers. You idiot, I answered. You're the reason I have hanahaki. He told him straight, his eyes filling with tears and disgust and shock at himself. I made you like this? I'm so sorry. He apologized. I got hanahaki because of you too. I love you so much, first name. I'm really, really sorry. I love you too, Tobio. Please, I'll never let you have hanahaki again. Never leave me, you big dummy. You squeezed his body tightly, not letting go of him. You didn't know why what had just happened, happened, but you and Kageyama both started to throw up petals. He let everything out into the garbage, the blood and petals mixing with each other, as you started letting out the rest of the flowers that had bloomed in your lungs across your tongue that were now released. The flowers were in 3 different separate flowers now: violets, lily of the Nils, and yarrows, the symbols of loyalty, love, and everlasting love. You let everything out into the toilet and finished, feeling much better than you did before, as now you could breathe properly again. Kageyama, however, was letting them out for a few more minutes, the pain of the flowers scratching both of your throats. He finally finished, putting aside the garbage can full of flowers, catching his breath before looking at you. You clutched your chest, feeling the mark of the hanahaki burn like it was poked with a million needles. It burned. Kageyama was doing the same thing, the burn on his chest feeling the same way as yours. The two of you clutched onto each other for support until it had stopped. The both of you were panting from the amount of pain that you had just experienced. You collapsed on Kageyama, hugging him by the waist. What the hell just happened? He breathed out, a silent laugh escaping your lips. I don't know, but I never want that to happen to us again, he replied, a small cough coming from him. He wrapped his arms around you, holding you tightly in his arms as he gently rubbed your back. You shifted, and your shirt fell slightly, revealing the top half of your hanahaki mark. It was a lily of the Nile, seemingly burned into your skin. Kageyama stared at the mark in surprise, before trying to grab the brim of his shirt to take it off. Your face turned red, and you protested until you were left speechless at what you saw. It was all the flowers that you had thrown up after the two of you had confessed. The marks matched each other, but they had different arrangements from each other, and it surprised you. Tobio, do you think we have matching marks? I think so. It comes with hanahaki, I'm pretty sure, he answered, grabbing his shirt and now putting it back on. You grabbed your shirt and peered down. Lo and behold, there was a matching one. You glanced back up at the boy with hearts in your eyes. I love you, Tobio, you whispered with tears now in your eyes. I love you too, first name, Kageyama whispered, lifting up your chin and kissing or planting a kiss on your lips. This was something that you could get used to, you in his arms, tightly embracing and giving chaste kisses. This was a person who you would love forever. That was adorable. I like that. I don't know. I think I kind of misread some of that because, like, I don't know. Sometimes my reading comprehension skills just go to the toilet, you know what I'm saying? But I hope you guys enjoyed double hanahaki today. One is an Oikawa Inks because you guys know I like hitting you with that, and then this Kageyama one. And if that isn't what I'm doing, because sometimes I'll use old recordings, ignore this part. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Also subscribe, please.